We are now live. Let's get straight into it. Yeah, Zersky, peace, love, and light. It's the God Lord Christopher, the living survival manual. Back with another download straight from the cosmos. Remember, someone has to see your greatness. Why not start with yourself? Stay blessed. Always finesse. Definitely trust the Most High's process. The true keys to success. Y'all already know before we even get into the spill, man. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Every single day is another day to be great. Every single day has been another day for me to step into my greatness. 100 days, 100 videos, 100 messages. I've been going at this for like 2 weeks, and in my consistency, I feel a whole different, confidence. Especially when I'm talking, when I'm in meetings, when I'm, having to share my ideas and my visions to other people. I'm noticing that constantly getting up here and shooting a video and expressing, my thoughts, expressing my knowledge, educating in the way that I educate, it helps me become more well-rounded. And I'm enjoying it, man. I love it. I appreciate y'all. You feel me? I'm feeling like Kobe. Feeling like the Mamba. Had to throw in the Mamba jersey today. But yeah, man. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I thank y'all. And we're going to keep this thing going. The vibes here at SYG Studios are to motivate, educate, and enlighten our people to achieve greatness through seeking new ways to invest in themselves. Everything is high level, family. What we think, what we say, how we feel, and how we act. But before we even get into the energy, take the time to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. We love engagement over here and understand that a village pushes the trend, not just one individual. So the support is much appreciated. Also, take the time to visit the link. The link is right here. For those who are listening auditorily, it's linktr.ee/SYG Studio 5. Or you can scan this QR code if you are watching it live on YouTube. World premiere. Alright. We love engagement over here and understand that a village pushes the trend, not just one individual. We went through that, scan the link. When you scan the link and you scan the QR code, what that allows you to do is it allows you to join the SYG community on all social platforms via Discord. You know what I'm saying? It's like a big group chat. You can also sign up for emails and SMS text messages, and what that allows you to do is it allows me to bring you into a community of like-minded individuals and update you guys on new things that I have on the platform, new links that I might put on the link tree. Dropping a book very soon, so that's something that you would want to be, first to know. You feel me? Like the first to know. Turning on like your post notifications. Some things may be exclusive and limited, such as the merch that's dropping in a couple weeks. So you want to be the first to know about these new things that are happening. So, sign up for the email list, sign up for the SMS text list, and allow me to collect the data, see where everybody is from, where you guys are, listening to me from. And that helps me, just be more engaged with you all as well. Our aim is to not only grow the brand, but reach at least 500K. Yes, I said 500K. 500,000 individuals who want, need, and are seeking the knowledge to live a more abundant life. Now, with all the information being provided, I do want to send out a quick disclaimer. Please take the time to do your own research, fam. It's very vital. My content is intended to be used for motivational purposes only. Always do your own analysis based on your own current circumstances. And that's the spill. Now, all together, let's get into our God body energy. We're going to inhale peace and we're going to exhale growth. Y'all know the vibes. Inhale peace. Exhale growth. Now step into your greatness. All right. Here's what we learning today. Here's what we tapping into today. Today is episode 21 of the See Your Greatness podcast. If you haven't listened to episode 20, God's made back, I highly encourage you to go tap into that. Definitely was a strong message in my opinion, especially for me. I always play these back and listen to, the messages and the wisdom and the word that God pours into me so that I can pour into you who do listen. It has been, a very, very challenging 10 days. I woke up one day, you feel me? I was having a bad day, not gonna lie. And, I was in a situation to where I became very vulnerable in the sense of I just didn't know what to do. You have mentors, you have your therapy sessions and things of that nature, but sometimes the help that you need is supernatural, right? It's something that you have to generate from a stronger or more powerful force, and that force is the Most High. The energy that, or the Creator, right? That generates spirit and life and love for all the things that are around us. So, you have your moments to where you gotta go talk again. You gotta go talk to Coach and allow Coach to realign you and redesign you, right? God's made back. We are His first vehicles to life. We are the vehicles to life that are supposed to be utilized in order to get His messages, get her messages, get their messages out to the masses, to those who want to hear about love, who want to hear about power, who want to hear about having a sound mind, who want to hear about financial literacy instead of financial illiteracy, who want to hear about mental health awareness, who want to hear about physical fitness, like all these things that create the better us, right? Like that's what God wants to do for us. So that's what I talked about in the last podcast. God's made back, making sure that the transmission is operating in the way that it needs to operate so that God can transmit signals and messages to you so that you can be a transmitter for others. That's what life and its experiences are supposed to be about. So today we're talking about skill sets, the different skill sets that we're supposed to utilize as we're maneuvering through this world, as we are maneuvering these vessels. I was listening to a podcast, and within this podcast, the speaker was educating us on how you need to have mindset, a skill set, a tool set, and combined all these things to create assets, and how we need to learn to think better, right? And within that, developing a new mindset and developing new skill sets and tool sets to obtain assets, it all boiled down to sharpening each and every one of these axes so that you can chop down whatever tree you need to chop down effectively and efficiently. Excuse me. But within this, he also talked about like the 4 levels of value and how you view yourself and how you do a self-assessment of seeing what level you are operating on and comparing that to its monetary equivalent, the money that you're bringing in, the income that you're bringing in, and seeing if it's working for you. He was saying like, a lot of people work hard, but they're working hard at the wrong thing. It's like the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a new result. It's like, no, you have to come to a realization that it's time for something new. It's time for a new mindset. It's time for new skill sets. It's time for new tool sets so that I can create the assets or obtain and generate the assets that I want within my life. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about that and then we're going to hop into day 11 of 100 days of thought-provoking questions. So the notes that I wrote down from this interview, again, mainly was centered around the 4 levels of value and how you need to start creating value for yourself and how you should get paid for your value instead of focusing on getting paid for your time, right? Because with value comes more. With time, it's limited, right? So this is how he broke it down, and these are the notes that I took. First, it was, you multiply your mindset times your skill set times your tool set, and that equals assets. He said your income follows assets, right? And what I got from that is that the more things that you have around you that are helping you to generate money, the more income, of course, you'll have. Like, for instance, like I had this wild dream of having a Wraith. Don't ask me why. I just like luxury things. It's a part of, I guess you could say, my swagger. It's a part of my character. I like nice things. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But one would generally go into the mindset of, oh, I want to get it just because it looks good. It's like, nah, like how many of us have Jordans that come out every year and get them every year just because they look good? You feel me? Think about how much you spend on the same pair of shoes over a 10-year span, right? Versus figuring out a way to obtain something and have it become more of an asset for you, generating income for you. So if I'm gonna get the Wraith, rent it as a luxury vehicle. Let people drive it throughout the month, pay pretty much generate money to pay the note on the car. They're paying the car off. And I get to enjoy a Wraith every now and then. But it's just a desire that I have, right, to just create more wealth in different ways, if that's the sector that we're talking about. Now, we can get spiritual and talk about how you should invest in meditating. You should invest in praising the Most High. You should invest in reading the Word. You should invest in learning the words that you are using and thinking about on a daily basis and focusing on. That's allowing you to grow and become more of an enlightened person, enlightened being rather, a knowledgeable being, an understanding being, a being that has wisdom and is not falling into foolishness. Like every podcast that you guys listen to, I'm going to always refer back to that, because those are 5 major keys, man. 5 major keys to unlocking your full potential. So, not to drift off, it was like, if you want to obtain these things, don't let it just be something that you just obtain and that's it. Like, what's the purpose of it? If it's just because you wanted to sit in your front yard, that's you. But I desire to have more than that. As a creator, I feel like we should be creating abundantly, right? And I'm just utilizing, the metaphor of the Maybach just for, peak's sake. But no, I'm the type of person that's like, yeah, I want it and I want to drive it and I want to feel good in it. However, there's nothing wrong with renting it out and allowing other people to enjoy the luxury as well, and this vehicle gets paid off. Like I can't take it with me when I go see the Most High in that realm. Right? So I'm going to enjoy the experience while I'm here, enjoy the financial gains that it provides for me, and live a happy life. And if that's my paradise, that's my paradise. Some might have a paradise of being able to just generate enough resources to be able to live on an island. I really want that too. Live on an island. Being able to cultivate your own food. Being in healthy vibes. I want that too. Like, you can have any and everything that you want, but it's all about that intention behind it. Is it just for selfish and greed, or is it for fun, for sharing, for connecting? So those are the things that you have to look at. But so the 4 levels of value: you got your mindset, your skill sets, your tool sets that create assets. But before you are able to get the income, or before you're able to get the assets, you have to sharpen these skills, right? You have to learn to think better. You have to learn to think better when it comes to your mindset, your skill set, and understanding the tools that you have around you. And as he was saying, there are 4 levels. You got the low level, 2 lower levels, and then you got the 2 higher levels. I'm sorry, I'm looking at it as I'm reading. So the 2 lower levels of value are implementation and unification. And here's why they're the lowest levels, is because of the resources that is utilized when you're trying to obtain more money, right? It comes with a cap. It's limited based off of the resource that you're using to obtain the income. Because again, remember, it's skill sets that you have. It's like the value that you have, the tool sets that you have, the mindset that you have, right? So you got the implementation as the first one of the levels. Implementation is utilizing your muscles, which is like your physical, and your time to create money. Now, the reason this is capped off is because it's limited. Like, over a certain amount of time, your physical is going to wear down, and it's inevitable that's that's when you reach a point to where you're about to ascend to the Most High, that we say time's up, right? So in between that time that you're having to use a lot of muscle and having to use a lot of time, and this is if you want to build like generational wealth, from what he was saying, like things that actually impact lives, millions of lives. Like if you have the desires to do that, I have the desires to do that. A lot of people ask why, and I always say it's just the spirit in me. I have a spirit within me that pushes me to not only want to help my loved ones, but those who are in need, like truly in need. Because at any stage in my life, like I might need a helping hand, and you never know who you might help, who will remember that moment and reach back and be able to be at your side as well. So implementation, you're using your muscle, you're using your time, and that's what creates the money. However, it's a cap, it's limited. So people at this level, they only generate, from what he stated, minimum wage up to $80,000. And it makes sense. It's because it's like, how much are you going to be able to physically exert yourself without having to rest? How much time do you really have when it comes to trying to put all these hours in to generate money? If you're on this level, like you're working a 9 to 5, you're doing 8-hour shifts, right? And then you're having to do outside or other things, such as taking care of kids. If you have kids, taking care of yourself, right? It's like a lot of your time gets taken away when you're having or forced to go into these type of jobs or these type of statuses, right? The next one is unification, and on this level he stated that the resource is management skills. So you have the skill set, right, to be able to manage others. And on this level you make $40K to $250K. So that's comfortable living, right? But how impactful is that? Depending on your desires. Again, I have big dreams. I want to have recreational centers. I want to have transportation centers. I want to have community gardens. You feel me? I want to have my own school, trade school. Like there are infrastructures that that I want to tap into, like different sectors. Like I don't know. A lot of things drive me. A lot of things, getting into real estate, commercial, industrial. Like I'm inspired by people who think and dream big. So that's what I do. But unification, resource, you have management skills. You're able to manage others. That's still capped because you're owned by the person who hired you. Like if they're hiring you to and paying you $250K a year, you're not missing work. It doesn't matter if Baby Tony has a play or something that day, or a game that day, or it doesn't matter. Like, you gotta be at work. You're owned, right? But then he was stating that there are two high levels of value. One of the high levels is communication, and that resource is having the ability to speak. You feel me? Impact others through your words. And the more and more I get into this thing called word, like, it's bigger than what we think it is. Like, I feel like people just think of it on a surface level, man. Like, the word is God and God is word. Like, that's different. So if you have the ability to use your words, set 100K to 100 million that you could make. Now, we just talking numbers because let's be honest, this is the type of world that we live in, right? To where, people exchange money and consider that valuable, right? These are people that are actors. These are people that have podcasts, YouTube channels. These are people who do webinars, who do coaching, right? Coaching on a high level. Right, 100K to 100 million. Like, is that a lifestyle that you would like to live? That's the first question. I do, because I know what poverty looks like. I want to know what luxury looks like. I want to get to a point that I accomplish and overcome every level on this on this plane, like on this realm, in this game that I'm playing. Like, if this is a video game that I'm playing, I don't want to quit at level 7 knowing that it's a level 9. You feel me? Like, I want to be able to accomplish all the goals in my life that I set to accomplish, or at least have the plan for my kids to be able to go accomplish those goals. I want to taste it a little bit. But, I want to know what changing the lineage, my family lineage, feels like when it comes to finances. You feel me? Like, yes, I do have the visions of, like, owning an island, like the Drew Island, right? We have our own resort stays. Anytime we want to take a trip and just depart from whatever chaos or stress is among us, we can go on our own island, eat our own home or locally grown foods, connect with the Most High, just be, literally just be, because that's what we're supposed to be doing, just being and experiencing things. So, communication, your resource, speaking, gets you 100K, 100 million. And then he said, the top dog is your imagination. And this resource is using the money that you have gathered. Because if you're on this level, I mean, you're pretty high level. But utilizing the money that you've gathered, because you know how to make money now, in your mind. Right? We know that God rests in the mind. Doesn't rest in the physical, right? It rests in the mind. What is the mind? Can you see the mind? Can you physically even see the mind? No. You can't see the mind, right? So this thing called the mind is what we say omnipotent, omnipresent. It is everlasting. It's abundant. Like, this thing is powerful. Right? So if you have the ability to control your own mind and utilize the money that you have generated over the time that you've been utilizing that communication resource, you can make millions to billions of dollars. Right? Now with this money, what's your intentions? Because again, I have big dreams. So I'm going to need a lot of capital to create things like how Apple created their things. Like I have big goals. Some of my friends and family wouldn't even imagine. Right? And if they did, they probably wouldn't think it'll be obtainable in my lifetime, but I'm going to see it through. I'm definitely going to see it through. I write these things down. God gives me a lot of downloads. And if you're listening, he'll give you a lot too. They'll give you a lot too. And they'll help you understand, like, it's all right here in the imagination. In the mind. Right? Building wealth, it's a spiritual outcome. And the reason it is because, like, you have to invest your spirit into other people to be able to generate income. You're not paying yourself. There's another being helping to fund your lifestyle. So you have to connect on a spiritual level, on an energetical level. Right? For them to be able to say, hey, yes, I trust this person with what I think is value, which is money, in exchange for their skill set that they have so that I can learn that skill set. That's a spiritual exchange when you think about it on a deeper level. The essence of money and wealth is spiritual. You have to be consumed with someone other than yourself to create it. Right? He was also saying, like, money carries a language. And language is something that spiritual beings have. No other being in the world, no other animal in the world has the ability to have language. You know, like my cat can communicate to me, but it doesn't have language. Right? Money carries language. That's a spiritual thing. The word, that's a spiritual thing. Right? You cannot use a physical resource, multiply that by a limited resource, and create an unlimited result. You got to check your ingredients, man. He was saying that's like trying to dump in eggs and oil and chips and peanut butter and ranch expecting to make a nice vanilla cake. It don't add up. You cannot use a physical resource and try to multiply that with a limited resource to create an unlimited result. It just doesn't work. And that was just him stating, like, yo, hard work does not create the wealth. You being on that implementation level. And I just made a TikTok. I just made a reel about that. Like how I was, in my implementation level, using my muscle and time to create money. And how, yes, I might be here right now, but I have bigger goals. And I know that I have to start at one stomping ground before I can get to the others. But hard work doesn't create wealth because it's limited. Like I have a limited amount of hours that I can focus on certain things, especially if I'm using my physical. But if I'm using my mind and if I'm using my words, that's a different ball game. Wealth is about what you do with the money you make, not how much money you make. And again, that's just about the intention. This is why it's spiritual. Like, it's about what your mind is like, what your heart is like, what you care about, what you're passionate about. You feel me? That's what really shows your character. The key to fortune is in communication. Right? To create wealth, work higher, not harder. Don't deliver more value at the lower levels. Create and deliver at a higher level with higher value. And that was just him saying, like, how working hard at the wrong thing, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. Like, you've been working hard on trying to get this business off the ground, but your system don't work. I know you passionate about it, yo, but you got to get a new system. You got to get a coach. You got to get somebody in that room that knows what they're doing, especially if you want your business to excel. And then you got to learn how to communicate. You got to learn how to talk to people. I don't care like what anybody says. When it comes to generating money, when it comes to generating wealth, you have to get into the room. You have to communicate with somebody. You can't just walk through the door. What if you're not invited? That could be a different story. Learn to communicate with people. Learn to tap in with people. Learn to be able to have different conversations. Right? Most want to seize wealth. Most won't seize wealth because they can't see it. We don't see with our eyes because we see with our mind. The mind utilizes the eyes as a tool to see. I'm going to say that again. Most won't seize wealth because they can't see it. But they have to realize that we don't see with our eyes, but with our minds. The mind utilizes the eyes as a tool to see. The eyes are literally an external an external representation of what the mind is. Like, think about that. The eyes are utilized as a tool for the mind to see. That's the mind's glasses. That's the mind's headlights. So whatever you are allowing the eyes to see, if it's a lot of distraction, that's what the mind is going to crave. Because the funny thing about it is, like, your soul, your spirit, and what's latched on to that, those are the things that help the mind focus on things as well. So if those things are out of loop, if your physical is out of loop, right, the mind isn't able to focus on one thing effectively and efficiently. So you gotta put within your eyes, within the scope, within your scope, you gotta put in there things that you know are going to help you elevate and become the better version of yourself. I'm not saying you can't indulge in a laugh here and there, but how long you been scrolling on IG, player? You feel me? How long have you really been on YouTube? I had to put this down. How long you sitting here, playing with joysticks? Give yourself some leisure time. Give yourself some step back time. But don't rest long. Resting is I'm telling you, resting is like one of the lead generators of like laziness. Because once you start resting, you get complacent, you get comfortable. And that's the worst thing that you want to do, especially if you're trying to be on mission and do what God needs you to do. He was also stating, as we move into this, that there are two ways to increase your effectiveness, right? One way is to increase your effort, which is like equal to working harder, which we don't want to do. Why work harder on something that isn't working? Only apply when it works well. You only work hard on the thing that is working well. If it's not working well, you shouldn't be working hard on it. So increase the effort on something that is working well. And then the second one was increase the efficiency. Making sure each measure of input into a particular thing produces a greater output. You got to sharpen your axes, your mental axe, your skill sets, your tool sets. And how to do this, you have to read things like books. And let these books teach concepts about things you're unaware of. Also, get a mentor. Right? You got your skill set axe. And skill set axes are sharpened through learning a new principle from the mindset axe. and then applying that into what they call the marketplace. The marketplace is like taking your values and your skill set and sharing it with people, like how I'm doing. This is the marketplace, and I'm sharing with you my value right now, the knowledge that I have, the wisdom that I have, the skills that I have outside of podcasting and YouTubing. You feel me? Taking that mindset of being, driven and focused, and then elevating my skill set, sharpening that tool, learning a new principle, learning a new skill, right? Putting it in the marketplace so that I can get feedback. And once I get feedback, if it's working, I rinse and repeat. An example that he gave, he was saying, as technology advances, grow into it. I love technology. And I know that technology isn't going anywhere. So instead of being afraid of technology, learn to use it. It's a tool. No matter if it's in the devil's hands or in God's hands, it's a tool. What matters is the intention behind the tool that is being used. You got to do the work. You got to let the work turn you into the person who can do the thing. Again, he said you got to do the work, and you got to let the work turn you into the person who can do the thing. But the funny thing, he loops it back to time. And he said this all takes time. It takes time to evolve into your best self. Because it takes time for you to reprogram your mind to understand that you're capable of having a better mindset, having a better skill set, having better tool sets, and understanding and knowing and wholeheartedly desiring to have more and more of things that you would call assets. I was in a moment. I know y'all saw me with my eyes closed. It's best to use the time sharpening the axe than to chop a tree down with a dull axe. It's best to use the time sharpening the axe than to chop a tree down with a dull axe. And the reason he said that, it was like, you might take 30 minutes to sharpen the axe. Would you rather take 30 minutes to sharpen the axe to be able to cut the tree down in an hour versus trying to cut a tree down with a dull axe and it taking you 4 hours? I'll take the hour and 30 over the 4. That's how you be effective. That's how you become efficient. We have to understand that money is important. It's just not the most important. But it's a very important tool. You get the tool, you circulate it, and you help create with it. And he led out with scripture that says, there's a treasure and substance in the dwelling place of the mind of the wise. There is treasure and substance in the dwelling place of the wise. That's wise again. There's that wisdom. That's the action word. And what that means is those who assimilate the truth through works obtains treasure and substance. Treasure and substance could be anything that you feel as though is of value to you. Some people want paper, some people want coins, some people want digital currency, whatever you see as a monetary equivalent for the value that you're putting out, go get it. Abundance is a birthright. You deserve to get reciprocated for the energy that you give out. It's like having a dead car battery. You want to continue to give out energy and then have no one refuel you up with anything? Get refueled. Get refueled mentally. Get refueled spiritually. Get refueled financially. Because I'm going to let you know, It might not be important to you, but it's important to some people out here, and they're utilizing the tool to the best of their abilities. So why not you? That was tough. That was a good one. Yeah, man. Get out here. Understand the 4 levels of value: implementation, unification, communication, and imagination. Understand that, if you are on a low level, aim to be on a high level. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with living in your ideal of what luxury is. I know what mine is, and I just, choose to aim for that. You feel me? So that was episode 21. Sharpen your assets. Excuse me. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. Sharpen your assets. Sharpen your axis. Sharpen your skills. Now we're going to move on to day 11. Day 11, 100 days of thought-provoking questions. And we're going to get up out of here, family. This was a good one. How do you maintain focus and productivity in a world filled with distractions? We literally just talked about that. How do you maintain focus and productivity in a world filled with distractions? Consistency, having a definite plan backed with a strong desire, trusting in God's mission for you and what abilities He has equipped you with in the moment that you are in right now to chip towards that goal, to chip towards an achievement of yours. And continue to understand that while you have breath within you, while you have a sound mind, while you have love, while you have power, to use it constructively, to use it effectively, to use it efficiently, to use it in a way that impacts others, and in impacting others, let it be a way that you would want to be impacted. That's the advice I got for y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. This was a long one today. We tapped into like the 40-minute mark. We might get to an hour mark one day, depending on how, what the Lord did. Like I'm moved by God. You heard? Like, if He say you talk for 30 minutes, talk for 30. If it's 15 minutes, it's 15. If it's an hour, it's an hour. But at the end of the day, I know y'all getting some game. I know y'all getting knowledge, and you're utilizing this as a tool. A tool for motivation, a tool for insight on what you can become, what lies inside of you, allowing you to see your greatness, period. Remember, someone has to see your greatness. Why not start with yourself? Stay blessed, always finesse. Definitely trust the Most High's process, the true keys to success. Continue to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. We running it up in the algorithm. Let me see people post saying that they saw me on the For You. You feel me? Please repost. I'm road to 1,000. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. 100 listeners on Spotify. So if you guys can convert over and definitely hit that subscribe, like, share. It'll be much appreciated. 500K, we on your head. You on your head top. You heard? I'm gonna be there real soon. I'm gonna be a different person, a different beast, like Kobe said. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And again, remember, someone has to see your greatness. Why not start with yourself? Stay blessed, always blessed. Definitely trust the Most High's process. True keys to success. Yes, Zersky. That was a bop. Got bops. That was a bop.